The Boston Bruins players, staff, and fans are pissed after this loss to the Florida Panthers once again. I'm going to be breaking down what went wrong in this game and what Jim Montgomery said is the real reason that this team is losing crucial games like this, and especially against what is probably their biggest rival right now in the Florida Panthers. Now, this game isn't exactly the opposite of what Bruins fans, players, staff wanted to see here today. And like I said, I'm going to be breaking it all down. Before we get into it though, however, we know 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel as we cover everything Boston Bruins related. Now, without any further ado, we need to get into this game. We need to talk about this. What went wrong? This is a big part of what we're going to have to see change to see the Boston Bruins have success. And we're going to start this one off with what Jim Montgomery has said is the real reason that this team has lost. And Jim Montgomery had what was a very, very short press conference here, and this is what Ty Anderson had to say on the whole topic. He said, shortest Montgomery availability I can remember in his 3 years on the job, repeatedly said the Bruins lost too many battles, said the fourth line is doing their job, the top six isn't, and that was it. And without any, background history of whatever this game, you didn't even need to watch the game. And you can tell from this availability that Jim Montgomery is not happy with this team right now, and for a very good reason. Too many penalties. One thing we've been mentioning here on the channel pretty much every game so far is that there are too many penalties. And we're going to pull up our first Jim Montgomery quote here of what he had to say. He says, they're winning the mental side of the battle on us. All 4 games, we take at least 4 minor penalties. Can't win hockey games that way, and then we can't lose many battles as we do. Jim Montgomery was not happy, and this exactly right here is the reasons that the Bruins are losing so many games. We've seen the stupid penalties that they've taken of the 4 games so far in the season. Too many minor penalties. The fighting ones we can't really complain about, especially with tonight in this game too, or this afternoon, where we've seen this game really just go too far beyond any point of regular gameplay that we see from the Bruins, and too many just stupid non-calls that the referees didn't make. But the too many penalties every game is really a big issue that we've seen. The Bruins have not been able to do really anything at all while on the penalty kill, on the power play, anything like that. It just really shows that the Bruins cannot take any penalties. They cannot risk taking that because they can't do too much in the top 6. It really just does have a big domino effect of what we're seeing related to what we're ending up seeing at the end of a game compared to the beginning of it. And Jim Montgomery had also this to say in here. Pastrnak got hit, and I love what Pavel Zacha did. Went and defended him, but that's great. But the penalties after that, it's just not discipline. And once again, going to the fact that Jim Montgomery is continuing to say that we cannot take penalties. We cannot afford to take these stupid minor penalties when things are done. Zacha, great fight, absolutely stand up for Pastrnak after being hit from behind with the no call. That's fine. That's absolutely, and that is warranted. We were expecting that. However, you go out, take another penalty right after that because of that. That is pointless. That was figured out. That was over with. Zacha had the fight. That should be it. And that was not the case in who I believe was Charlie McAvoy on that play. So Jim Montgomery thinking that there's too many penalties for the Bruins, and that's the reason that they are losing. What do you think about this? I can do everything. I can do nothing but agree, sorry. And this is really a major issue that we need to see the Bruins fix, is the discipline on this team. Not too many penalties that aren't, just regular gameplay. It's too many stupid penalties. So let me know what you think. Do you think this is the real reason, or do you think there isn't another underlying reason here in this game? Now, we're going to move on to the actual game itself, and this was just brutal. The game got away from the Bruins, and I think that is really the safest way of putting this. And what we've seen at the end of the game, what we were seeing from the beginning to the end, was 2 completely different teams. The team that we saw at the beginning, they were ready. They were coming out. They were looking pretty good. The team that we've seen at the end didn't even look like an NHL team. They were not playing an NHL hockey game. They were not doing that at all. And we're going to pull up our second screenshot here, discussing another big part of what we're seeing, the little bit of success the Bruins are having. 3 Boston's top 5 scorers so far this season are in the 4th line trio of Mark Kastelic, who has 5 points, Johnny Beecher with 4, and Cole Koepke with 4 points. Meanwhile, Brad Marchand, 2 assists in those 4 games, while his line mates Charlie Coyle and Morgan Geekie are still scoreless. And this is one line that we've been really wondering about. Is there going to be a change here? Are we going to see something different? And I do agree. Something needs to be changed because this is not acceptable too with what we're doing and what we're working towards as a Boston Bruins team. We've seen that the offense generated from the bottom six, I will even say. I won't even say the bottom line, but the bottom six has been great. It's been very, very good. But the top six, as Jim Montgomery has said, is just absolutely not acceptable. They're not playing to their abilities, and that's very, very easy to see. And having, especially the line of Marchand, Coyle, and Geeky, that line should be producing at quite a high rate compared to what they have been. 2 points, and 2 of those coming from the captain, Brad Marchand, being assists, are not ready. We need to see something different, whether that means move Justin Brazeau up, whether that means move Matthew Poitras up. Something has to be done, and this is something that is going to be, in my mind, and what we'll likely see in next game, if things do not get fixed, we're going to see a change of lines here, and I think that some of these guys who have been playing very, very well could get promoted to a higher line, a higher role with this team if things are not changing. We've seen that Morgan Geeky at second line right winger was not the one we wanted to see. We wanted to see someone else. We wanted to see whether it would be Tyler Johnson, whether that would be Fabian Lysell, and of course those two are not the case as of right now. But something has to be done on that second line to change it, to get that production up. Comment below what you think that should be. What do you want to see on the second line? What do you want to see change? But apart from this as well, this game was still quite a different one than what we've seen. And as you can see here, I'll pull this up on the big one. Once again, the bottom six are excelling in this category, the stat card. I'm not going to pull this up for this game in specific. Not too much to talk about this game, but it's to look at where the stars are. Realistically, we see David Pastrnak there in the 5th slot of players, but the other guys that we have that should be at the top of this list, very, very close to the bottom, very unacceptable, I guess is a good way of putting it, to be honest with you. We need to see some better stuff out of a lot of these guys, and having Mark Kaslick, Johnny Beecher, those guys at the top of this list, that's absolutely fine, but I would also like to see some of the stars, some of the guys that we expect to be there around them as well, and that just goes to show, once again, Jim Montgomery's point, the top 6 is not playing at all. They're not playing hockey, they're not playing a great game, and they're not having the success that they need to have to be able to have this successful Boston Bruins lineup, to be able to have a successful team going into these upcoming games. Now, the next game against the Florida Panthers, I believe, is January 11th, 2025. So we have quite a bit of time to figure some stuff out right at the beginning of the new year. So we are going to see some different changes here, whether that be, something on the second line, something, on the bottom half, moving someone up. There's going to be changes made by then, and the Bruins need to have stuff figured out. But still going in through this, we're seeing this as well. And this game was a big tell that we cannot have this, exactly what Scott McLaughlin said, happen again. The Bruins aren't even trying to play hockey right now, but you kind of can't blame them. Only so much crap you can let one team get away with. This all started because of an uncalled hit from behind on their best player. Now, we do have to take this into consideration for this game as well, that there was that uncalled hit, and as I mentioned in the intro, that's exactly where this game pivoted, went the opposite direction, and absolutely went ridiculous, went off the rails, and not the way we want to see this team play. But it really just goes to show, once again, how big this rivalry against the Florida Panthers are getting. 2 years of the playoffs back-to-back, and now, once again, that is not slowing down in the regular season. So I'm going to still take this with a grain of salt that, this game still can't happen. They can't take this game against other teams, but we have to think about that hit from behind that was not called, that really should have went a completely different direction for this game for the Boston Bruins. So, once again, something that we have to keep in our mind, and knowing that this won't happen every game, and something like this, as it happens, it was not the right call, and we can't let that get into our heads too much. But with our final screenshot here, I did want to pull up the box score for this game, and it's been on the bottom of the screen the entire time as well. But really, just wanted to pull this up. Looking at Mark Kaslick, 3 assists in this game. Cole Koepke, 1 assist. Jeremy Swayman, not the best game once again. Seems like the Florida Panthers are causing him a bit of trouble. Although, still only his 3rd game, so still trying to work off a bit of the rust. But ultimately, the game could have been a whole different direction had this hit from behind non-call not happened. It was unfortunate, but it will happen every once in a while. But the Bruins need to let this go. Need to go in the next game, be ready for this, forget this game, and just work on what they've been trying to do, what they know that works, and just simply go play Boston Bruins hockey. So let me know what you think about all of the stuff that we had here today. What do you think about Jim Montgomery? What changes do you want to see made to the second line to be able to get some production if things are not done ASAP? But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.